my name is Jenna and today I'm here to do my July wrap up and my August TBR. I read 10 books I think in July, which is pretty good for me. I will admit the majority of those are Babysitters Club books, which means they are like this thin, and I read most of them in 2 days. But I still read 10 books and they all counted towards my Goodreads challenge, so I'm pretty happy about that. In regards to other books, I didn't read anywhere near as many as I would have liked to. I've been reading the same book for probably almost a month now, and that's a little bit sad. One of the books I did manage to finish last month I had been reading for like a good 2 months, so you know, we're doing well. So one of the things I didn't do is I did not read the YA Circle Book Club's Book of the Month last month. I wasn't interested. It was called Clap When You Land. I finally remembered the title of it. Holla. But it was written in verse and it was a contemporary, and there was just so many things on it that I'm like, I won't like that, I won't like that, I won't like that I went, why would I bother reading a book that I don't like? Particularly when I'm in such a big reading slump and still struggling to read anyway. So we didn't bother with that one. And what else did we not do? There's something else we didn't do as well. We did not finish the TBR jar challenge, but that's fine, everything's fine. So we are going to jump right into the books that we did manage to read. So the first book this month that I actually did manage to finish was Cursed by Thomas Wheeler. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. Cursed is the retelling of The Lady of the Lake, and it sort of explores the idea of what if his Excalibur had chosen a queen instead of a king. So we follow Nimue in this book, who obviously ultimately does become the Lady of the Lake. So we follow Nimue, who is tasked by her dying mother to take this sword to Merlin. She does not know what the sword is. She doesn't really know who Merlin is. She's only sort of heard of him in passing, and it all sort of follows from there. So we get to meet a lot of our favorite characters from the Arthurian legend. They're all just a little bit different. I really did enjoy reading this book. I enjoyed reading from Nimue's point of view and just sort of seeing how things would have been different. I really love the way they've taken this legend and they've sort of twisted it and turned it into something really special and something really their own. I read this book because of the TV show adaptation, which I have watched 2 episodes of, and I'm not a fan. And I'm not a fan because apparently the person who wrote this book also created the TV show. So explain to me why the book and the TV show are nothing alike. I loved the book, I really did. I thought it was fantastic. It had some really wild art styles from Frank Miller. Like, look at that, gorgeous, beautiful. And from what I can see so far, the show has that same sort of art style in certain places, but story-wise, yikes. The next 8 books I read were all part of the Babysitters Club series. So I read Christie's Big Day, Claudia and the Phantom Phone Calls, The Truth About Stacey, Marianne Saves the Day, Dawn and the Impossible 3, Christie's Big Day, Claudia and Mean Janine, and Boy Crazy Stacey, all of which are by Anne M. Martin. I gave this one 5 stars, this one 4 stars, this one 4 stars, this one 5 stars, this one 4 stars, this one 5 stars, this one 4 stars, and this one 3 stars. I'm not going to go too much into these books in this video because I did do a Babysitters Club reading/watching vlog where I read all 8 of these books, and then I did watch all 10 episodes of the Babysitters Club series on Netflix. I will leave that video in the description box below, so definitely go and check that one out if you want to hear me ramble about my nostalgia for 30 minutes, because that's basically what happened. But the books are fantastic. I got a lot of nostalgia out of reading them, and then watching the show was just magical. And then the last book that I read this month is one that I have been reading since the Because We Can Readathon happened back in May, so you know, yikes. And that is The Last Wish by Andrzej Sapkowski. This is the first book. It's the prequel book. It's the first prequel book in the Witcher series. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. This was really cute. Well, I say cute, but cute's probably the wrong word. But this follows Geralt, and it sort of shows us all these different short stories about his adventures. This is what the first season of the TV show was based on, so there were a lot of stories that I was reading going, oh, I recognize that. I know what that is, and that was a lot of fun. I'm really glad that I went into this book after having seen the show and playing the game. I just feel like I understood so much more of this world doing it this way, and I got a lot more out of it because I already sort of knew most of what was going on, and then the just additional stuff was just something a little bit special. My favorite short story of all of them was The Last Wish short story, which anyone who has seen Witcher or played Witcher 3 will know is of course the story between Geralt and Yennefer, and it's sort of the first time they meet read and what Geralt does and all of that sort of fun stuff. So I really did enjoy this one. I'm excited to read Sword of Destiny, which is the second short story prequel novel, and then I will eventually go in and read the actual series itself, mainly because I really did miss Ciri in this story. I'm really glad that in the show they did bring Ciri's storyline forward so that we could see her, because I missed Ciri in this book. I missed her a lot. I don't know yet if I'm going to continue on with this series before I watch the show or if I'm going to wait and watch the show sort of as it comes, because I did really love watching the show first. So I have not made that decision yet. Honestly, I probably won't make that decision. It will be made for me, because by the time I get around to picking up the next book, let's be real, the second season is definitely going to be out by then. And so there we go. Those are the 10 books that I did manage to read in July, and now we will talk a little bit about the books I am planning on reading in April. No, August. My god, could you imagine if it was only April? Yikes. So first up, I'm going to talk about the YA Circles Book Club Book of the Month pick for August, and that is The Extraordinaries by TJ Klune. This is a superhero story. I don't know a lot about it, but I think it has ADHD rep, I believe we were told. I really don't know much about this one. I just know that it is a superhero book, and it involves this kid who writes fan fiction, and then he meets whichever one of these guys is the bad guy, maybe the good guy, not really sure. Either way, he's got a crush on him, and it goes from there, and this kid decides he wants to be a superhero too. That is the extent of my knowledge about this book, but I'm keen. Like, I love superhero stories. I must admit, the last superhero book we read as the YA Circle was not a good one, so let's hope this one is so much better. Next up, I want to do the TBR jar challenge, which, oh man, there's not many pieces of paper left in here because it's August. Alrighty. Let's see if we can get one. This one. The first in a series. According to Goodreads, The Extraordinaries is the first in a series, so we're gonna go with this one. Okay, the next book I'm hoping to read this month is one I'm just hoping to finish this month, and that is Venom by Bex Hogan. I started this one in July. I am 248 pages into it. I am enjoying this book. I'm just finding it a little slow in the middle, but I have been told by multiple people that the ending is completely worth it. I just have to get there. I've just unfortunately been in the biggest reading slump of my life, so I have not been reading much at all, but I am determined to get back into this one. This is the sequel to Viper, and it follows Marianne as she has come into some bigger responsibilities after the end of the first book, and this one follows her sort of journey as she attempts to come to terms with who she is and try to find a way to save the islands that she loves from a very ruthless and merciless king. So it's a pirate book, which I love, and I am really enjoying it. It's just a little bit slow getting to what I assume to be the good bit, and I really do want to see them dive more into the dark side of magic in this book, because they have sort of touched on it a little bit. They touched on it a little bit in the first book, and they're touching it a little bit in this one, and I just want them to really go for it. So I'm excited to see how this book ends. And then the last book on my TBR for August is one that I am sure is going to come as no surprise to everybody, because everyone and their dog is reading this, and that is Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. I was not expecting this to be such a chunk of a book. It's over 750 pages long, so I'm sort of like, ooh, I don't know if I'm ready to commit to a 750 page long book, but we're gonna do it because it's a new Twilight book. But this book here is the reason why there are only 2.5 books on my TBR for this month, because I just don't know how I feel. If you don't know, for whatever reason, Midnight Sun is a companion novel in the Twilight series, so this book is Twilight but from Edward's point of view, which I'm hoping means we get to see a lot more of the Cullens in this book, which is really exciting because the Cullens are my favorite part of the books, and I am just excited to read it. I'm excited to get back into my little Twilight heart and just enjoy, but at the same time, I don't know how I feel about reading from Edward's point of view, because Edward's kind of weird. There you go, that is my July wrap up and my August TBR. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section below what you are planning on reading in August, because I would absolutely love to know. If you like this video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. Stay random. Bye.